going on, people? Welcome to Bartley and Barnes. We are back. We're here to do it. Jacob Bartley, Keith Barnes. What is up, man?
What's going on? I'm the Barnes half, as you heard.
Yes.
Yes. When you last, let's see, previously on Bartley and Barnes, where we leave off? We were talking about
Bartley and Barnes. Oh my goodness, that reminds me. I told you I've been watching Dexter, right? It has the longest intro and the longest recaps ever. So
really,
you know how on Netflix you can skip the intro? So when you skip the intro, it's at 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Like 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
House of Cards kind of like too. Yeah.
But the Dexter one is not pleasant to watch. So like he's like shaving and he cuts himself and the blood drips on the sink. And then
I've never watched it.
And then it switches to like him pouring hot sauce on his eggs, like right after, like red hot sauce. So and he's like making steak and eggs. It's like
I've seen that. Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So I get it. It's very artistic actually for what the show is, but it's not like it's definitely like the Game of Thrones intro. I would watch every time, but this intro,
that's cool. I like that.
Do it, yeah.
Do they do a cold open?
No. So it does the recap and then it does the intro, and then it just goes to it. Yeah. I'm actually really enjoying it. So I'm on season 4 right now, dude. John Lithgow. I didn't even know he was in the show. And he is so creepy, man. He plays a serial killer in season 4. Yeah. And honestly, it might be the creepiest character I've ever seen. Like,
oh wow,
crazy.
I'm intrigued.
For example, like it's not a spoiler, but the first time you ever see him, he's like butt naked in somebody's bathroom, and then he like grabs a woman from the and slits her throat in the bathtub. It's like that's his introduction. And I'm like, oh my goodness, John Lithgow. I thought you were like the lovable guy in like in Daddy's Home, like that type of John Lithgow.
Great. No, he plays a great villain. He's a good. I think there's a Denzel Washington movie I can't think of that he's a villain in.
Yeah, I think it's because he has that.
Ricochet.
Yeah, so he has that vibe. Like he's like a super nice guy, but he could be a villainous person. Like those type of guys are the creepiest, you know?
Yeah. John Lithgow, he's one of those guys we don't appreciate enough, I don't think.
No, I honestly don't either. Like not just from that, but other things I think he needs to be appreciated for, you know?
He plays he plays Winston Churchill on The Crown.
Oh, really? That's great casting.
and he's spot on. He is spot on.
Isn't it he an American actor?
Yes. Yes.
Does he does a British accent in the show?
Yes. He's Churchill.
You know what?
He nails it.
I never had much interest to watch The Crown. Now I want to watch it.
Yeah. He's as good as Gary Oldman. To be honest. I think so.
Yeah, so, I haven't seen Darkest Hour either.
Oh, you haven't?
No. Oh, you need to check that out. Hey, add that. You got to add that to the Apocalypse list. All right, man. So today we're gonna talk a lot of movies today, which is not a bad thing. We're gonna talk some of these new releases. Look, I'm so excited because 3 new movies came out this past weekend. Like I don't remember the last time that happened, and I just watched Artemis Fowl today. I watched the 5 Bloods over 2 days, the last 2 days before that, and then I watched King of Staten Island on Friday. So I'm caught up on those. I know you haven't got a chance to check them all out, but we're still going to talk them in general. We're going to have a few guests to talk those movies with us. But before that, I just want to get your thoughts on the whole NBA situation going on right now. So this is the warm-up, our sports segment to get us warmed up and get the conversation going. So, you know, we talked about this a little bit last week or last episode, but so now we know they're playing in Orlando. There's 22 teams. They're going to be at the Disneyland Resort. I don't know if you heard this, but Disney is actually going to allow some of the allow some of the players and their family members to experience some of the stuff at Disney World. And they're also they're gonna allow them to watch. They might allow them to watch Black Widow, like the NBA players. They're They're gonna let some of them watch Black Widow and early, like obviously super early. And the thing, I'm sure there's gonna be a thing where they have to sign something where they can't spoil it. But I bet
that's gonna be dangerous.
So you've seen, like, I think LaShawn McCoy spoiled Endgame or something, or he spoiled Infinity War on Twitter. Really? Yeah, back when it came out. Yeah, because he probably saw it early. He probably went to the premiere or something. But so yeah, I guarantee you they're gonna have to sign something to say they can't spoil it. Yeah. But I also guarantee you they're gonna allow a social media, like, say whether they liked it or not. You know, like a very vague. Black Widow's awesome, you know, but honestly, I think this is kind of cool because they deserve it, man. They're gonna, most of them have to go and do this because they're not going to get paid if they don't. So
there's a lot of stuff that,
So, all right. So you heard about Dwight Howard and a couple other NBA players. They're not cool with going back and playing. And I totally get it. I totally understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I know they don't want to have to be a distraction away from what's going on with the Black Lives Matter and some of the other kind of social civil rights movements that we're having. I'll just call it that around the country. Which I do understand. And I think a lot of the reason why this movement is happening is because we haven't had sports. I think that's a big part of why America, the good people in this country, have been moved to do something, or at least to pay more attention. And
well, that's a good. Well, we haven't had entertainment in general for the most part.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's unfortunate that that's what it took. To get,
there's so many people who always have, for decades, have talked about how the entertainment is just meant to distract us from what really matters. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, your favorite rapper, you introduced me to.
Hobson. He talks a lot about that. Yeah.
Says this a lot. Yeah.
Ooh, and he's dude, he just released a new song. You got to check it out. Side note.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. And again, it's lots of people have been saying it for years. Listen, I posted a thing, a Tupac interview. There's stuff he was saying 25 years ago that is happening now. But as far as the sports goes, though, so yeah, I understand them. I fully get, but at the same time, you guys are, I don't know how to frame this, but it's just like we do need the sports, and I like LeBron James' position of, well, I can still use that platform that I have to still spread this message, and they're both sides are right. The people that want to play and the people that don't. I get it. I think they're both right, but some of the stuff that has happened it's happened. Right, and nothing's going to change that. And whether we have sports or not, unfortunately, some of this stuff is going to continue. We're going to keep fighting it, and those guys, thankfully, they're in a position where they can keep fighting it. But I kind of just part of it is just me being a fan and such a lover of basketball.
Yeah, of course.
I want to play. I want him to play. I think it would be a help. But at the same time, I hope what they're trying to do is figure out a way to do that and still keep the message, and that make sure, that we aren't fully distracted. Like, okay, here we have sports again, so don't worry about it. I think
there's a way to do it if they incorporate it into the broadcast of the game, of the games,
or the in-game presentation, because there's not going to be any fans, so. If there's a way to, I don't know, but yeah, I think you're right. I think there is some way to do it. You know,
yeah,
maybe I don't know, maybe something in the marketing or something in. Yeah, I don't know. There's there's people smarter than us that can figure that out, but at the same time, I get the other side too. And if they were like, no, we're not going to play until there's some more radical change, and then I would understand that as well.
Absolutely. And
other leagues are going to play, so there's I don't know about baseball. They're struggling to figure out.
Well, they're talking about the last thing was a 60-game season and an extended playoff or something.
Yeah. They're arguing over money. I know players don't want to. Both sides, they don't want to lose money. Owners don't want to.
Well, that's what it's really all about.
Yeah. Because I think the owners. Well, I think it's
a player is whether they're jeopardized for the civil rights situation or the coronavirus situation.
Right.
If they're facing, I go play and I get my $10 million or I don't, they're going to most likely go play for that money. So, and then obviously same thing for the NBA. They're doing this in the TV contracts and all that stuff. It's all adjusted based on everything that's going on. So my point was, I think it's a good thing. Even though I'm jealous, they get to see Black Widow early. Good for that. Like they should, they deserve it because they're going to go in and risk their health, their family's health to go play this and be away from their family for 2 months or more. So I think they deserve it for sure. Any last thoughts on that, man?
I don't know that I would. Would you bring your family down there?
Well, I think some of them are. I mean, because that's the whole reason they're talking about this situation where they're going to
Florida,
allow some of the attractions to be available, allow them to see the movie. But also, I heard the people who are going to be working the event, the cooks, those type of people, the people bringing them food are not going to be quarantined, but the players are. So the players are concerned about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know, and I just saw Florida's they're putting some restrictions are getting put back in place because of we keep saying second
cases,
wave.
Yeah,
we're still in the first wave. To be honest, they were
I know
second wave. Yeah, so but cases are rising, so they're having to reenact some of their restrictions from before. So I find it odd that they picked Florida as the place to do this.
I think it's because the venue, they have the enough courts to do it.
Yeah. So we'll see, but hopefully they figure it out and we can see what's going to happen here. I think I was hearing that they were going to do some kind of presentation as far as with crowds, because I think soccer they were having they CGI'd in some fans in the stands or whatever. And,
really?
Goodness. I think I heard that. I think it's the German Bundesliga.
That's hilarious.
The German soccer. Yeah. So apparently, they're saying it's not going to look like NBA Summer League is it's quiet in there and all you hear media members and stuff. They said it's not going to be like that at all. They're going to add some stuff to the presentation so that it doesn't feel like it's in an empty gym, which it will be. That makes
sense. So. When LeBron just dunks it insanely, it's just all quiet. I can't imagine that. But they'll probably infuse crowd noise like we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's go into some movie discussion. Yeah. So we're going to talk 3 movies today. We're going to talk The Five Bloods. We're going to talk The King of Staten Island. And we're going to talk Artemis Fowl. As far as new releases go, some other movies might get brought up along the way. But those are the 3 movies we're going to talk about. And first up is The Five Bloods. And to join us in that discussion is the man, Mr. Jake Berlin, the Force Ghost engineer. What's up, Jake?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Quick thought. We're talking some sports. How do you feel about the whole baseball situation going on right now? Because you're a baseball guy.
It's crappy.
Yeah.
It's crappy. That's all I'll say about it. It really gets me frustrated. That's all I'm going to say about it. So,
do you think they should come back or no?
Yeah,
at all?
But listen,
100%, and it's really crappy that it's all money related too.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah,
it's well. Listen, the baseball, they've got that baseball players union is one of the strongest unions on the planet, and they are, man, what a battle.
They get paid a lot.
And they do. Well, they do. I mean, listen, fully guaranteed contracts, no matter what.
It's crazy.
It's definitely the strongest unit sport. It's too bad because the more this goes on, they're just going to keep losing fans. It seems like every time the '94 strike was, like they haven't learned their lessons from the past, and they just keep. This was supposed to be a health thing, and now it's turning into money, like Jake said, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yes, Jake is here to talk The Five Bloods with us, the new Spike Lee film that is on Netflix, his follow-up to maybe his best film, BlacKkKlansman. So we have all three watched it, and I just finished it yesterday, actually, and I really liked it. I don't think it's great, but I think it's really good. What about you guys, Jake? What about you, Jake?
It's great.
Okay,
it's great.
Yeah.
For me. It might be my favorite of his films.
Okay,
because of the time era that it particularly deals with. Is a time era that I really enjoy personally, and it's a really bad time era, but it's just that I'm very interested in. I know it takes place in two different times, but the way it goes back and forth to me and how that story is told is really brilliant. It's not really the way the story unfolds as far as with Delroy Lindo's character and Chadwick Boseman's character, like the result. I wasn't surprised by, but I love the way that he told that specific story. And I know that there's always going to be like an asterisk next to everything that's nominated this year and won and everything, but Delroy Lindo is an absolute lock no matter what year it is for any kind of Oscar. Like he is, I watched this movie on Friday when it came out, and I'm still trying to process this movie. It's like such a heavy, powerful movie that is led by these performances, and Lindo is the one that kind of leads it all. I mean, the depths that he goes to with this movie is pretty remarkable. And it's funny because I personally haven't seen a lot of him. The movie I always go to with him is Gone in 60 Seconds when he's playing the cop. And this is far from that. That's right. This is far from that role. But it's a really powerful movie, and it's a really, really brilliantly done movie. And that's surprising me because I'm not always the biggest fan of Spike Lee. I'm not always I think BlacKkKlansman was like the first movie where I kind of like really understood him as a filmmaker, and then now he's gone back to back with me. So I'm really happy with the result.
No, that's awesome, and I did enjoy it, but I'll get to my thoughts in a second. Go ahead, Keith.
I'd say, have you not seen Malcolm X? Or
I saw Malcolm X once a long time ago.
Oh,
I definitely need to revisit. Now. I need to watch more of his movies.
But Malcolm X, 25th Hour is great.
Never seen 25th Hour.
Oh, both you guys will like that. Jake, that one's got you, Edward Norton and Rosario Dawson. You will really like that movie a lot.
Okay.
Highly recommend that for you, especially.
Again, add these to the watch list on Apocalypse.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. You know what? I got to send you my list. That's right. I haven't sent you my list. But Inside Man. Have you seen Inside Man?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just curious. But I love this movie. Thought it was great. I really did. We don't really get a lot of not a billion, but there's a lot of Vietnam War related movies out there. Don't really get a lot, from black soldiers. Don't really get a lot of stories of black soldiers from that era who served, and you heard it right in the movie. I mean, we were 11% of the population, but 32% of the soldiers.
That's crazy.
Which that's been a thing throughout American history. Going back to even the Civil War, even in the South. It is South were making slaves fight in the war against the North, and every major war we've had in this country, that's been the case. And I'm glad they put the clips of Muhammad Ali in there saying the stuff he said. You know, a lot of people where I'm from, growing up in Virginia, that he's quite a hated person because of that. Instead of really just listening to what he said, they just look, he's a draft dodger. He didn't not fighting for his country. And it's just like, why? Why do I have to fight this war for a country that doesn't, you want me to go kill those people? Why? They haven't done anything to me. They don't call me the N-word. They don't keep me out of restaurants or stuff. Why would I go fight this war for you? Go kill it. You know, so, yeah, and that, you know, all the little clips they were showing in the opening scene, pretty harrowing. I was watching it with Kevin, and he just, boy, the look on his face, and I didn't know it would be some of such brutal stuff, but I was like, yeah, buddy, that's the world, and that was certainly the world at that time. It was just it was pretty ugly, ugly side of humanity we got to see, and but the performance is great. You're right about Delroy Lindo. Get Shorty. That's one of my favorite movies that he's in. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but yeah, he's always been one of those underrated guys that there's a lot of people just don't talk about. But he's the only actor, him and Jean Reno, of course, Jean Reno, the professional, Leon, the professional in there, which I was very surprised to see him pop up as the Frenchman. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved all those performances. I loved the camaraderie of those five guys. Well, four, 4 or 5, depending on how you know. The timeline you're looking at, but yeah, I loved their dialogue between the two of them. You really got a real feel of they really did a good job. Like you felt the history of these guys, the Bloods, together, and just when they reunited and stuff like it. It was really, really sweet, tender moments, and yeah, I like that. He shot it all there, you know. Look, it was all actually in Vietnam. Which is really cool to shoot it all on vacation and real sets, real, you know, practical setting, which is really cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. And, you know, I'm trying to think it's been a while. I haven't seen, I started Black Klansman and I only got maybe 30 minutes in. And
really?
So I got to
finish it.
Oh
yeah,
my
I know.
Goodness, dude. That's arguably the best movie last year. You know, it is so good.
Yeah, I know. It's back on HBO, so maybe I'll try to get that in this weekend. But I really enjoyed it, man. I just really did. I thought it was really, really good. I don't know where I would rank it on my list of Spike Lee films. I'd have to think about that. But
yeah, well, I haven't seen all his movies, so it's hard for me. But I really like this movie a lot. Don't get me wrong. I thought it could have been a little bit better, but I did really, really like it. The performances, especially Delroy Lindo, just absolutely incredible. No matter what, even if it was a full year of all full movies coming out, I think he would have been nominated. I guess for lead actor, I mean, possibly, depending on it. But
I mean, they always
maybe
do
supporting
to give him a better chance.
Exactly, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but I definitely want a Stormin' Norman spinoff. Can we agree on that?
I mean, the story would be great, but I think that this movie's so good on its own.
No, I know. I'm just kidding, but I just love the way they kind of just put Chadwick Boseman's character up on a pedestal. They all admired him so much and loved him, and he was their leader and those type of things. And that one scene where he stops them from going, I think they wanted to go attack some of their white American soldiers in the movie. And I think that's what they were talking about doing. And he stopped them. And it's a smart move just in general. But I don't know. I really like this movie. There's a lot of things going on in it. But the historical context of the movie is great. Because we have had a lot of movies set in this era of the Vietnam era. But not told in this way. And I can't believe that he already made this movie and it came out now. How relevant this movie is right now, that's crazy. Like, some people might honestly believe like he just made this movie because of what's going on right now, but there's no way that's possible because he obviously started making this years ago. So
last year sometime.
It is so relevant right now, and it's just crazy. So I really, really enjoyed this movie, and if the Oscars were tomorrow, it might be the front runner for Best Picture. There's not much competition, but I don't see what else could. I mean, unless The Gentleman, but that's not the type of movie that people.
Invisible Man.
Yeah, maybe. We might be in a situation this year. Well, the Oscars. We can talk about the Oscars another time, but it's all they have a whole new thing set up for this. But yes, but The Five Bloods, great movie, really good movie. I thought one of Spike Lee's best. I think I like Black Klansman a little bit more, but this movie's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen Black Klansman once. I saw it once in theaters. I never revisited it. I need to watch it again. But yeah, it also feels like a very, very real movie. Like you see these actors.
Yes,
it does. You see you recognize some of the guys that are in there. Obviously, like Paul Walter Hauser pops up in there towards the end, and Delroy Lindo and a couple of the other guys as well. But it literally just feels like he's kind of following these guys as they go through this in real life. And I also am very I also like the fact that and Spike Lee never does this, but I like the fact that he really just didn't hold back in showing like what happens when guys deal with this type of stuff, and specifically go back to the sites that they once were a part of. The one scene that pops in my head is when they were on the boat and the guy with the chicken kept coming up, and Delroy kept like he just like kind of lost it, right? You see the effect that these guys have, and then also the effect on the other side, him saying you killed my mom and dad.
Yeah,
you killed my mom and dad, and it's a very real thing, and then you go to the more story aspect and how powerful the moment is when they found, are we talking spoilers? Are we talking spoilers at all?
We can, yeah.
Well, when they found Storm and Norman's skeleton, his bones, and his face specifically, that moment, right, where they're digging him up, and you kind of get this powerful. Because at this point, and it's funny, I just when I was watching this, I had paused the movie, and that part was only 45 minutes into the movie, and in my head, I'm like, what else are they going to be telling in this movie? What else?
I did the same thing. I paused it to check the time, and there was like an hour and a half left.
I couldn't believe it. And obviously, his movies are always longer, but I couldn't believe that they essentially reached the treasure 45 minutes into the movie, and then we get back to another story. And that just shows like how versatile Spike Lee as a director with storytelling, and how versatile his actors were as well, because they did a complete shift at that point. Like that was the turning point in the film where everything kind of shifted into a completely different type of film. And so, I mean, it'll be a while until I revisit it, but it's definitely something I want to revisit because it is really a heavy movie.
Dude, landmines are terrifying.
Yeah.
That I was seriously scared just for them walking. Every time they found gold, they thought they found gold. I thought it was a landmine.
Well, and then as soon as they
as soon as they introduced the French.
I knew she was gonna come back later.
That's what she did.
Yeah,
I knew. Oh, but I knew that landmines are someone's there's gonna be landmines out there while they're looking in the jungle. Like someone's gonna step on one, and I knew that right away that's a thing. Again, that's still is a problem in Vietnam and some parts of Europe as well, or old landmines that are still active, and so I'm glad that's something that they brought to light as well, because that's still a problem out in the world. But I thought it was interesting too. The device of keeping the old characters in the flashbacks.
The actors.
I liked it.
That was interesting.
Yeah, very interesting device. Yeah, I found that very interesting. I liked it as well. I was waiting to see who's going to be the young guys playing.
It was actually them.
Well, and the reason why I liked it so much personally is that the ratio shrunk, like it would have been in the 60s and 70s on the TV.
Right.
And so I knew personally that they were going back in time, and it's a really cool, just kind of like eye-catching thing where he shifts the ratio of the TV to tell you it's present day and past. And so maybe that's why I like the addition of that so much.
Yeah.
That, you know what? Okay, so full disclosure, I was watching this on my phone, and I couldn't. I was like, why is my phone doing that? I was like, why is it changing ratios? And I thought it was my phone messing up because I was watching it on my phone. And they were switching back and forth. Wow. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. Man. Okay. Don't watch movies on your phone, guys. That's the moral of the story here.
I'm about to yell at you for that. What are you doing? It's supposed to be watching on your big TV, man.
I was
full disclosure. That's the only way right now at the moment. No, this is the only way at the moment that I can now watch Lord of the Rings is on my phone because HBO Max doesn't have anything via TV. They don't have anything via TV. You can
technically log on the browser for your computer.
I'm not sitting at my computer desk to watch Lord of the Rings. I want to be sitting somewhere comfortable. If I have to be sitting on my bed on my iPad, then so be it. But they need to get their crap together and put a freaking app on the television.
I know. It's ridiculous. The old app doesn't even work anymore.
Either. Yeah, it's stupid.
The HBO Now app doesn't work.
I'm trying to watch Lord of the Rings for you guys, and HBO Max is not helping me.
Yeah, at least you've seen them once already, like on a bigger screen. I hope. Yeah, but
I see. I haven't logged on to that in a while. I didn't know that. I'm trying to log on right now. Crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing, but at least Netflix works, right? The Five Bloods. You guys can check it out on Netflix. Really good movie, and honestly, the more I think about it, the more I like it. The shootout at the end, I thought was very fast, but I thought it was really good. I don't want to talk too much spoilers, but there's a grenade situation in the end.
Rough.
And I did not expect that. I was like, no, because there's certain characters I didn't mind that they died because not that they deserved it, but some of them were asking for it. And some of the characters were just good-hearted dudes trying to make it through this mission. And some of them didn't. So it's but that's a great movie. It doesn't work out the way you want it to all the time. So I thought it was really good. And,
not totally.
I thought the son stuff was really good too. The stuff with his son.
I really enjoyed that. Same here. I actually really enjoyed the ending, the very ending. Like once kind of the dust settled and everything. I really, really enjoyed this movie ended, and it's all very well shot too. It all looks really, really good. Good. Yeah, great job from Spike Lee, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
Agreed. Jake, any last thoughts before we let you go? Oh, what was that, Keith?
Oh well, I'm looking at HBO Max on my TV right now, so I don't know what y'all are.
Maybe they updated it from last time I checked till now.
Well, either way, Roku though. What do you use?
No, they don't have an app for Roku or the Fire Stick.
Oh, on PS4 and Xbox you can watch it.
That's stupid. I don't want to turn my Xbox on. That's dumb. That's dumb. You guys are gonna get me going here. That's dumb. That's stupid.
I mean, no, it shouldn't. Because I have a Roku. I have a Roku TV in my living room and my room, and I can't watch HBO Max.
More people have a Fire Stick or a Roku than a PS4 and Xbox. Get your crap together, HBO. This is why you're inferior to Disney Plus. This is why you are inferior to Disney Plus.
Jake.
Does that all trickle down to DC and Marvel as well?
Yes, this trickles down to DC and Marvel. DC is inferior to Marvel.
Hold on. Let's add Gio in the conversation real quick. No. That'd be funny if he just popped on out of nowhere. Well, thank you, Jake, for joining us for the Five Bloods discussion, man. Any last thoughts on the movie?
No, great movie. Everybody should check it out. I will say, though, you got to be in the right mindset because it is a very heavy, powerful film. But I do recommend checking out, especially right now, being that there is nothing really to watch.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, man. We appreciate you joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. See you later, buddy. All righty. So we do have another guest joining us in about 5 minutes or so. Brian Avellino's going to talk Artemis Fowl and a little book segment here for Turn the Page. But really quick, I do want to talk about another movie that I watched, The King of Staten Island, the Judd Apatow movie.
Yes.
Dude. All right. So regardless of how all three movies turned out, we had a Spike Lee movie, a Judd Apatow movie, and a Kenneth Branagh movie, which three fantastic directors. But I love King of Staten Island, man. This is a totally me type movie. And honestly, I forget the comedian's name. Who's the star? Do you know his name? I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
SNL, Pete Davidson.
Yeah, right? Pete Davidson. I'm not that I'm not a fan of his. I've really never seen him in anything. Like I maybe have seen one or two sketches on SNL. I know his face, but I'm not familiar with him. But what a Judd Apatow, being a Judd Apatow movie, and the trailers are what got me interested in this film, and it's actually really good. It's just a movie. Well, it's based on a true story. Like, it's based on his life. His father was a firefighter, and his father died serving, and so they take that and they play with it. Yeah,
died in 9/11, right? I don't know. Is that they did?
They didn't mention that in the movie, but maybe in real life he did.
No, he did. That's how his father died. She was a firefighter in 9/11. That's how.
Oh wow. Okay, so in the movie though, they don't mention that. I wonder, maybe they didn't want to touch on it or something. But I mean, it's basically like very light fiction or something like that, because it is based on his life, but not fully. Marissa Tomei plays his mom. Bill Burr plays the guy who's dating his mom. Bill Burr was really good. The dynamic between them two is really good. I really, really enjoyed this movie. And look, I'm a sucker for Judd Apatow films. I love Anchorman. 40-Year-Old Virgin is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Trainwreck. Trainwreck is amazing. I like Knocked Up a lot. But I don't really like Funny People that much. Still entertaining. But I like Judd Apatow because a lot of his movies are like, it kind of feels like he's filming real life in a way, with a very exaggerated, like, everybody's funny though, in a way, it's type of thing. So I really love this movie. It does. My only negative about it is the ending is very abrupt. It didn't really close all the storylines. All the storylines were great, but it didn't close them all. And it kind of just ends out of nowhere. But everything that was important, the character kind of handles. So I thought it wasn't it wasn't a terribly abrupt ending. It didn't ruin the movie for me. But it was probably my biggest negative is how sudden. Like, I thought it could have added 10, 15 more minutes to wrap it up a little bit better. But yeah, I love this movie. I love both these movies we talked about so far. Really good films. And I know you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. I'm trying to get this one in too, because I was leaning towards watching this one, but then you mentioned the Five Bloods, and which I already wanted to see anyway. But hearing Jake talk about it the other day, I was like, no, I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, for sure. Good choice. I mean, you can't go wrong either way.
Either way, yeah, absolutely,
for sure. Alrighty, well, the most anticipated conversation here, the Artemis Fowl conversation. We're gonna bring in Brian Avalosino. What is up, Brian?
Hello.
Hey, sorry for keeping you waiting so long, man.
No, you're fine.
So how's it go? So we know that you've seen Artemis Fowl, so we wanted to bring you on for this.
I have.
And we also know all three of us are reading the new Hunger Games book, so we're going to talk about that next. But yes, we are.
I was the only one.
Yeah, we weren't just bringing on you to talk about it. You probably are the most.
I figured that's exactly what it was.
No, we want to discuss it with you because Keith said he was going to read it, and so I was like, I'll audiobook it.
Yeah, but, I've only read the Hunger Games books, so for me, I'm like, I need to keep that tradition going and not audiobooking. But now I'm like, God, this is really taking a long time.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But first, let's talk Artemis Fowl. I just watched Artemis Fowl today, and I'll tell you guys right now, I don't know anything about Artemis Fowl, so I don't know. I didn't read the books. I don't know anything about the mythology, so I went in completely blind. So, Brian, I want to hear your thoughts first, man. What did you think about the movie?
I know nothing of Artemis Fowl. I worked as a teacher, so I've heard of Artemis Fowl before. And I'm pretty, weird I guess I don't think there's a really not creepy way to say this. I like reading young adult type literature because they tend to have the best storylines. So I'm very aware of popular literature, I guess, or for that age range. And so I know nothing of it. I know that it's a beloved book, though, not like Harry Potter level, but it's very popular. So I was
pretty popular.
It's like the Irish Harry Potter.
It could be for all I know. I don't know. But yeah, so I've been interested to see this movie just so I can know what like they're talking about. Oh my God. Are we going straight into it?
Go ahead.
This is the worst movie I think I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I
did not expect that.
I don't know how to describe it, but like I wasn't in physical pain watching this, but I was in like mental pain watching this. Like,
yeah,
I was willing myself to push through to finish this whole movie. Like, I was sitting there like, no, don't be one of those people that just stops and watches the movie, because then you're never going to be able to say you've seen the whole movie. And I was just like, I had to tell myself that about 100 times.
Wow.
This is some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a big budget movie, I think, ever. And that's including one of the greatest actresses in Dame Judi Dench.
Yeah.
So
she was not great.
No. And I'm sorry.
And not her fault either.
No. God, no.
And we'll talk about why in a second. But
I mean, Colin Farrell, bless his soul, he's barely in the movie, so you can't really say much negative about him, but he probably got the best part because he was in it the least. So
he was actually good though, because he's such a great actor. He's
such a great actor.
Like, he took it seriously and
absolutely
played it so well.
But every other person was horrible. The kid that plays Artemis Fowl, did they find him just, hey, you want to be Artemis Fowl? Like that
kind of. Look, I don't think he was terrible, but he wasn't good. Like he was
horrible.
Daniel Radcliffe, right? We were like the same age as him though, but now when you watch this movie, he's like adorable, right? As a kid, and he's he's charming, but this kid was just boring, I would say. I don't think he's a terrible actor, but he's just boring.
I think he's terrible actor, and he was boring. And I think,
oh man,
and his little pixie friend was just as bad. So, I mean, I don't know where they found these kids. I think they literally just went to Ireland and was like, anyone want a part in this movie? Like, we'll give it to you, because that's what it seemed like, including the adults.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm not going to be too difficult on child actors, because a lot of the times it's their first major role. They're children, and it's very rare that a child actor is gifted.
Is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I guess in the 80s and 90s, something was going on that made child actors really good, because there's a lot of 80s and 90s movies
horrible parents. That's
but why were the child actors so good though back then?
Well, because they were actual actors and they weren't social media stars or Disney Channel stars or whatever. Like they were actual.
That's a great point. Like they probably focused on the art of acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they weren't actors, dancers, singers, Instagram models, or whatever. That's all. Like that's that's why so many all the best actors right now are all British, because they actually train.
Mm-hmm.
They actually go to school. They grow up training to act and acting on stage and stuff, instead of being on whatever a Disney Channel show or, like I said, Instagram models or whatever.
So I'm just gonna say, all right, look, I watched this movie today after hearing everybody hated it, so my expectations were dirt low. I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest. I really didn't.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You might
honestly
took something or drank a little bit.
Imagine going into something expecting it to be the worst thing ever. My expectations cannot be lower. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you, but that doesn't mean sometimes, like, a movie's gonna be bad, and it is bad. Like, I know what you mean, but sometimes Brian, it's such a stark difference from Brian's reaction.
Look,
because
that's because Jacob's trying to be nice.
No. I have no reason to be nice about this movie. Keith, watch it. I think you'll think it's not as bad as people say. Look,
wait, Keith hasn't seen it?
No, Keith hasn't seen it.
No, my mom was watching it with him the other day, and I looked at it for about 5 minutes now, so it's like, nah. So I didn't
look. It's nowhere near good. It's like if Brian gave it a 0, I'd give it a 2. So
I wouldn't even give it the grace of calling it a 0.
So if Brian gives it a -5, I give it a 1.
If it's out of 0 to 10, I'm giving it -10.
Look, this movie's so weird because, all right, you know how you have a heist movie, right? Or something like that. This is like they're in the same house the whole time. Like the whole
plot does not make sense.
So look, like Artemis Fowl is literally, he's in the school.
I heard he
point, but he's
leave the house at all.
So it's like what would you call it? Like so you know how you call a heist movie? What would you call this? Like a home protection movie? I don't know. It's like I don't know how to explain it.
There was so much going on that you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, but it's just funny. I've never seen like a big budget franchise movie. Just the whole plot is just at this one location, and then it's all going to take place there. They go to the school for a little bit. They go to the fairy world for a little bit, which I don't know about you, Brian, but I thought the mythology was pretty cool, and the world where the fairies live. Like, I thought they could have done something really cool with that.
I mean, they could have, but they didn't.
No, yeah, for sure. But like
the Stentar person was horrible.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah,
and
I saw that guy.
Look,
should have never been a part of this movie.
All right. I actually like Josh Gad, but not in this movie. That was terrible. I didn't even know that was him at first. I was like, who is this? I thought it was like Keith Urban or something at first.
Keith Urban? The heck?
No, Carl Urban. Sorry.
Oh, Carl.
I thought it was Carl Urban. All right, look. Here's what I don't understand about this movie. Why the hell is everybody talking like they're trying to be Christian Bale Batman? That's how everyone's voice is in this movie, except Artemis Fowl. Josh Gad talks like, oh, no. Judi Dench talks like that. There's another.
Judi Dench sounds like she smoked a pack a day for the last 75 years.
And Josh Gad even says, look at us talking like we're a bunch of frogs with sore throats or something. He says that in the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? I honestly can't believe that Kenneth Branagh made this movie.
He should never be allowed to make a movie ever again.
No, shut up. Don't say that. Don't say that. Are you serious?
He directed Cinderella. He made Cinderella.
Dude, he directed the first Thor. He directed Cinderella. He's a great director. Don't. Every director makes a bad movie. Spielberg made the Terminal and Indiana Jones and the last Indiana Jones movie, and those are worse than this movie.
I like Terminal. I don't think it's bad.
He makes average movies. Let's say Thor wasn't amazing.
I disagree. The first Thor is amazing.
It's the best. It's not the worst one, but it's not the best one.
Yeah, I mean Ragnarok is in another class. Ragnarok is top 5 comic movie of all time, but Thor is amazing.
His Shakespeare adaptations are great. Hamlet.
And he directed Murder on that Shakespeare adaptation that
he did Hamlet. He's done a bunch of them, but I know he definitely did Hamlet. He's probably done a version of Othello. His Shakespeare movies are all pretty good, I think.
Keith, Josh Gad, plays a character that is essentially a mole. or something along that, to the point where there's a part where he unhinges his jaw, and it's the worst CGI thing I've ever seen, and pulls down his pants to his boxers that have a hole for his butt crack because he eats the dirt and it shoots out his butt.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know. That
exactly.
I don't know what like actually happens in the in the original freaking source material, but
I can't make that up.
Well, I know in the book,
so Kenneth Branagh did Much Ado About Nothing. He made.
Oh, I do like that. Yeah, he did do that. That's right. I've seen that one. That's very good.
Oh, has anybody seen Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit? I didn't know he directed that.
He did direct that. That's right. That's right. It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. So to me,
cool.
But honestly, Thor and Cinderella are great. And every director has a bad movie. Most directors have a bad movie. I guess Nolan and Tarantino might be exceptions, but yeah. And look, I'm not here to defend Artemis Fowl. It's a bad movie. It's a terrible movie.
It's too bad that this movie was supposed to be in theaters like last year, like in summer last year.
The smartest decision Disney has ever made was to not put this movie in theaters.
Well, they were forced not.
Clearly, they knew. They clearly knew. Well, yeah. I think, but it was supposed to be out last year, and they kept pushing it. So I think they knew this was not going to be received very well. But my daughters, like I said, they've both read. I think Sophia was a little more into it than Charlize was, but I know in the books he's supposed to be a villain, right? He's the bad guy.
Well, that's what I heard. That he starts out as a villain.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he's bad. He's like a criminal mastermind.
Yeah. So, all right. So the ending of the movie, he says, "I'm Artemis Fowl, and I'm a criminal mastermind." And then a little 12-year-old boy walks out to the helicopter and gets it, and it's like in the movie he didn't do anything to be a criminal,
right?
Like unless you're talking about he was fighting the fairy world or whatever, but he didn't do anything that indicated that he was a criminal. And then he's like, I'm a criminal mastermind. What?
And then, mind you, this said 12-year-old then starts to fly the helicopter with the adults riding passenger.
Well, they did say he's like the smartest person on Earth. So he can fly a helicopter, I'm sure.
He didn't leave his house. He knows all of a sudden how to fly a helicopter.
They said he like cloned a goat when he was 10 years old.
Whatever. It was ridiculous. This movie.
Look, I'm not defending it. Keith, I'm just saying it's not as bad as it's not the worst movie ever made.
Keith, name a bad movie right now. Just name a bad movie that you know of.
Batman v Superman.
Okay, worse than that. I'm talking like a trash movie.
It's better than The Hot Chick.
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, now you're just being mean.
Okay. No.
First off,
all right. Well, the one I just watched. What's that one you like? I just watched.
The Hot Chick. Okay.
I just said that. I said it's better than The Hot Chick.
Okay.
Brian likes that movie though.
Artemis Fowl is sitting at 10%. The Hot Chick is sitting at 22%. That's how bad this movie is. White Chicks has a better score than this movie.
Wow.
Man, I can do this all night.
Wow. Who's the 10% that gave it a positive review?
A 5-year-old that likes poopy jokes because Josh Gad was shooting dirt out of his butt. That's literally what.
And his beard broke into the highest security door lock that's ever made.
It's I don't know what's his beard is like a secret mastermind that can pick locks and it's literally.
Jeez.
Whoever wrote this or whatever was on all the drugs and was like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Well, look, we both agree that it's a bad movie. It's absolutely terrible. So That happens, I guess. I guess that happens. They need to make a documentary about this movie, about why. I don't believe that Kenneth Branagh directed a movie this bad. I just don't believe it. I think there was studio interference, to be honest. I don't think they said, here, Kenneth Branagh, make whatever Artemis Fowl movie you want to make. I don't think that's what happened.
I don't know.
Because he doesn't do those type of things.
Well, clearly he does. So, and the butler. We didn't even talk about the butler.
Who plays the butler? You know who it is?
The butler is Nonso Enozi. He's a very large, like, well, actually, I don't think he's black. He's from the United Kingdom. They give him he has blue eyes and like the worst lines in the whole movie. He's like about to die or something, and he's like, I am not gonna cry. And like one teardrop comes down, and then of course he lives and goes, I did not cry. Like what?
That sounds like I think he was in Cinderella. I think he played the guy in Cinderella, right? Wasn't he?
He was in Cinderella. That's what it's posted right here.
Yeah. That guy, yeah. Okay. I know.
And he was in Ender's Game.
Look,
another movie.
What happened? Disney was spending money on this movie, and they paid for the script already. They're like, damn, Kenneth, can you please direct this? He's like, I guess. Give me $10 million. And they're like, okay. That's what happened.
Here's the thing for me with this. And I was listening to one of the schmoes talk about this. He said, no matter how bad this movie is, people need to stream it because something like this could probably affect the development of something like that Percy Jackson series that they're trying to make. And if that's the case, I will go to bed at night and stream it. So they throw all the money at the Percy Jackson stuff because
that's how they're gonna measure success is streams.
Because it's supposed to be a straight to stream type TV series. That's a big world.
Well, that's true too, because if people hate this and it doesn't get views, they're not gonna make fantasy adaptations anymore.
Exactly. So because this is essentially another version of Percy Jackson.
Well,
it's young.
Brian, you know what? You mentioned TV series. I think you accidentally called it a TV series, but you reminded me that this felt like a first episode of a series. The whole movie did, in a way. Think about the way the story's told. It felt like a first episode of a series.
Felt like a whole season's worth of a TV series they tried to fit in an hour and a half.
Well, yeah, basically, because I think it's like an hour and 35 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
But it really felt like if you would have told me they're doing an Artemis Fowl 10 episode series and this is the first episode, I'd been like, oh, that makes sense. It seems like it. Because all they did was set up the world. They had one plot or like one mission or outcome, whatever the case is. And then it's totally like trying to set up a franchise at the end.
Yeah. It's
I was going to say, it's the ending one of those.
Oh, it's they did all but, hey guys, we're making a sequel. But they're not going to make a sequel.
Unfortunately, this property is going to probably go through the Green Lantern treatment, which is so bad. No one wants to remember it. Everyone's going to try to forget it. And 10 years or so are going to go by, and then they'll probably try it again. And hopefully, if this was I could see this being some type of TV show. This could, I mean, I don't know the books, but if it was some type of TV show, it might work. But it seems like
that's probably correct.
It seemed like they tried to fit way too much in 90 minutes, and it just became a freaking mess. So I don't know, because if you mess up something like a property like this, and I'm sure Disney paid a bunch of money for this property.
Oh yeah, so many special effects and everything.
Yeah. So I mean, the movie itself costed $125 million to make.
My goodness.
I mean, like I said, Disney's probably Disney's probably thanking their stars that this pandemic is going on and that they got to put this on Disney Plus, because this movie wouldn't have even came close to making that back. So
no, and they're definitely not going to make a sequel to this.
No, God, no.
There's no way. And especially because everybody hates it. So
yeah,
there's no way. All right, well, hopefully on to a better note. So let's move on to our Turn the Page segment where we talk some literature. So we used to just give literature recommendations on this segment, but Keith and I realized that we were kind of running out of recommendations. So we were like, let's do like a book club type thing where we read a book together, or in my case, audiobook a book together and talk about it. So Keith and I we didn't even plan this. We're both in the middle of chapter 7. Brian, how far did you get?
Oh, then you guys are way ahead of me. I'm only on page 40.
Okay, so we are and it's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, correct?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, so we're reviewing the Hunger Games book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, a prequel to her Hunger Games series. And look, I'm nowhere near the biggest Hunger Games fan around. I never read the books. I like the movies, especially the first 2.
The books are phenomenal.
I admire the mythology and the storytelling and everything. So I was interested in this book. When I saw Brian reading it, I wanted to check it out. And it kind of happened that Keith was also going to read it. So it just kind of worked out. So none of us are far into the book, but what do you guys think so far?
I like it. I like it more than I thought I would. When I heard it was about this character, I was like,
Cornelius Snow.
Yes, President Snow. If you didn't know from the go ahead.
All
right. Keith.
I was going to say I was not saying here. I was not into that. Yeah. Donald Sutherland.
Oh, Donald.
That's
Sutherland.
it. Yeah. I was going.
Yeah,
I'm messing up first names today, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think out of all the characters, I was shocked that she went after him. Just because there's so many more Hunger Games.
I thought they were going to do a Haymitch thing. That's what I thought they were going to do.
That would be the
longest time. Yeah.
But so far, I'm liking where it's going. I don't know what is considered. Oh no, it's part of the thing. I mean, I have the preface or whatever it is right here. I like the idea of the fact that he is coaching.
He's a mentor to a new tribute tribute. So I might have missed it. So what makes him eligible to be a mentor? Did he participate in the Hunger Games at some point?
No, he is he's
part of the academy.
He's a part of an academy that is doing some elite program that is handpicking people to basically have a coach for a tribute. So there would be 24 coaches, a boy and a girl tribute from each 12 districts.
Right.
And he happens to get District 12's female.
Yeah.
And it's not a spoiler because I looked to make sure it was in the preface and it was.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to the point where he gets his tribute, or he gets his tribute assigned to him.
He just met her, is where I'm.
Oh, okay, cool. No, I mean, there's not much to go off of this early on, but I'm enjoying it. Like I'm eager to go back to it and continue listening to it. So I'm liking it. I not reading the books ever. I love this world. I think that's so compelling.
It's a fantastic world.
So compelling that they have this tournament. It's kind of like the Purge in a way. They do this just for their society they think their society needs it.
Well, it's not. You got it, Keith?
I was gonna say, well, they're doing it to teach the rest of Panem a lesson about the war.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's like a political reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
pretty awful.
Yeah, it's because the districts chose to have an uprising against the government. The government won, and so now as a punishment, other than destroying them,
can you imagine if that happened? Like each state had a tribute from our country, and like anybody could be chosen. But it's normally in this, it's young people, right?
I don't think
4 more years and it might happen.
I don't think we're that far off.
Yeah. Wait. So in the
it
can only be a child, right, or an adolescence?
I believe 17, 18 and under.
Yeah, it can't be like you can't have like a 40-year-old soldier going against an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Except the second one they did, right? Didn't they bring back some Catching Fire? They have like a couple older ones.
Oh, okay. Yes, they did. And for that one, because it was the 45th or 50th.
They brought people back, right?
They
like
brought
the best tributes from the
It was ex-champions. It was basically the
previous
All-Stars Hunger Game.
Of course, so they get Katniss in there again. That's a good, like an excuse to get her.
That was their way. I think that's what they did. To get her back.
That's exactly what it was because they wanted to kill her.
Catching Fire is the best one to me. Jacob, that movie's awesome.
If you're enjoying the audiobook, you should the novels are fantastic.
That's what I've heard.
They honestly, I remember at the time reading them going, these might be better than Harry Potter. And just like if the movies wouldn't have the movies aren't bad, but they're not like what they could have been, but the movies kind of like killed that vibe a little bit. The books are freaking phenomenal. I was never a big reader. I was a reader, but not a big reader. I could not put those books down. Any second I have.
Well, maybe I'll go check them out. And if I do, then I'm doing it in chronological order because I'll do this one first, and then I'll go to the first Hunger Games book.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you mentioned Harry Potter. Both those fan bases, they've been battling for years over which of their series is better, Harry Potter versus Hunger Games. The book fans, I mean, not the movie.
Yeah.
But I was really I'm the same way. This is better than I thought it was going to be. When I first heard the idea of a prequel to this, I was really hoping, and I still wish they would have gone back even further because I'm curious about how did this country, whatever this is, whether it was formerly the United States or whatever, how did we get here? How did this war start? Like, what is this? How did this turn into all this? I wish they would have gone back a little bit further.
That'd be interesting to see the actual war.
I can't remember.
Then the movie ends with the first Hunger Games starting or something.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping it was going to be when they announced the prequel. But
yeah, because this is the 10th Hunger Games.
Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty early on, but not that early.
Yeah. So I mean, they've already had 10 of these, so it's not like it's anything new. So
yeah, so basically, there's not much going on. Like I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for Brian, but not much has happened past where you are.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see where it's going to go. I'm curious to see where it's going to go, though. Like, what is the end game of this novel?
Well, if you know the books, you kind of know. I mean, you don't know anything about this tribute, nothing like that. But if you know enough from the books, you kind of know what's going to probably happen.
Okay. So, I mean, don't spoil it for me, but I'm curious to find out. And I am curious to see because Snow he's kind of a douche, right? And later on. So
he becomes evil.
I'm curious what makes him that way. So we'll find out and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. What I'm doing is I've been listening and reading because I don't know why this is the first time I've ever actually taken like a book like this.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I'm actually reading it along as I'm listening to it, and it's been.
So I did that for one of my books for school when I read Don Quixote for class, and it's actually really cool to listen to it and follow along at the same time. It's the best of both worlds.
That's kind of cool. I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's been pretty helpful for me because I'm having a hard trouble just kind of sitting and listening, and I'm kind of like looking at something or looking at scrolling through on my phone.
Makes you pay attention more because when you listen to it, you don't get the privilege of seeing how things are spelled and all those type of things.
Right.
Oh,
and you're right, Brian. The names are crazy. Felicia, whatnot.
The names are insane.
What is
the names
that?
are insane. I'm like, these are worse than Harry Potter names.
Oh my god, she literally, I think, rolled letter dice and made names off of this because these names are absolutely ridiculous. His name is Coriolanus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's not even Cornelius, which is actually a real name.
Yeah.
It's Coriolanus.
Right.
Dude, and the audiobook guy,
yeah.
the person who reads the audiobook has such a hard time saying his name.
Oh no.
Yeah. Thea Dutcote. We got
what's his cousin's name?
Tigress.
Tigress.
Yeah.
What?
It's just names are just
it's not a bad it's crazy, but like it doesn't make the book worse, but it's just crazy. It's funny.
Here's the thing with me though. The names are slowing me down because I am the very nitpicky. If I'm going through it and I'm going like Coriolanus scanned the crowd and then Coriolanus, and it's stopping me. And
I could see that.
It's
he should have a nickname, like a shorter nickname or something.
Call him Snow.
Just
his
call him
cousin
Snow.
called him Oreo.
Perfect. We don't need Coriolanus every sentence. It drives me insane.
I know.
Look at this.
You wrote it that way too.
I know. Keith, are your kids reading these at all or no?
Vipsania Sickle. Hilarious Heaven.
Keith, one of your daughters finished it, right? What did she think?
Sophia read the whole thing. She just thought it was okay.
Okay.
That was her reaction. I think she's probably expecting better, but I think she and I, we had the same. Charlie's hasn't read it yet, but we had the same thoughts. Like we were like, I think just the idea of a young President Snow book, because he's such a horrible guy, and again, I don't know how this ends, but. I don't know. I think maybe she had the same thoughts as me, or was kind of having a tough time trying to look at this guy as trying to get behind this character in any kind of sympathetic way because he does turn out to be so terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's just like us Star Wars fans. If we got a young Palpatine movie, we'd have to deal with those same type of things. You know
what? I was thinking about that, actually reading this, and it was like, this is probably a direction they would go if they wanted to go back and tell Palpatine's story, because I'm sure they had he had a similar type of upbringing. He was probably fairly wealthy. I know if you read the Tarkin novel, you get a little bit of that where he was groomed to be this great politician.
It's Legends really now, but the Plagueis book with Palpatine in it is amazing, and that's exactly wealthy family, and things happen in that book. The crazy book. That should be canon, to be honest. It's so good. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But in that book, Palpatine always had the evil in him. Like, he's not evil at first, but he always had it in him. He's like a serial killer. Like, he's not literally a serial killer in the book, but he's like, once he does something that shows that he's evil, it was always inside of him, Yeah.
The dark side was strong in him. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, thank you, Brian, for joining us on this discussion, man. I really, really appreciate it. And also for the great Artemis Fowl discussion.
Oh, yeah, no problem. You picked stuff that I was so passionate about.
Yeah, we'll probably talk this book the next 2 or 3 episodes, so maybe you can rejoin us, man.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get to like page 45 by the next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to try to – where did we say we were going to read up to, Keith? Like,
they divided it. It's 30 chapters, and they divided it into 3 parts. So we can maybe get to, I don't know, try to get to part two in 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks, so
I think it's reasonable. We don't have to, but let's try to get through part 2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Brian. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next time.
See you guys
later.
See you later, man.
All righty. So, all right, to wrap up the show, let's do some homework assignments real quick. Keith, did you watch The Gentleman?
I did.
Okay.
And
thoughts?
Classic Guy Ritchie. Absolutely loved it. Love Charlie Hunnam in this movie. He was
so good, right?
Cool. He was so cool in this movie. He's so much better when he's acting in his with
natural his accent. Oh yeah, I 100% agree.
Granted, it was a little more of a Cockney accent than what he actually speaks with, but when he's being British, I think he's a lot better. Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant is so good.
Than what we've been used to. And Matthew McConaughey was great. I loved him. Loved his wife. Thought they were really cool.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell and
what is this group called? I forgot, but it's been so long.
The Toddlers, I think.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the music video is incredible.
That
incredible.
I actually liked that song.
I know, dude. I want to bump, and they're like, they make a music video where they're fighting these dudes, and
that was killing me. I'm like, wait,
so funny.
Wait, are they rappers? Like, what are they doing? Like, what is this? And they're boxers as well. I wondered if that was going to be tied to Snatch at all. It's not, but just the boxing part of it, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's any relation to Snatch. But I thought it was really good. I really liked Henry Golding as well. He was
really great.
Quite a different role.
I liked seeing him in that.
Good villain. Yeah, he plays a really good villain.
That's what makes people think he could play Namor. Like we talked about when we did our Namor casting on Apocalypse, and I think Brian chose Henry Golding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. I have to be really good. Yeah, he's got the look. He's certainly got the look in the body. I really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed it.
It's so good, right?
Yeah. It's Guy Ritchie, so it kind of once everything kind of started unfolding at the end, I went, okay, yes, I knew. I kind of sort of knew it would kind of turn out the way.
The movie's not over yet. There's with his movies, there's 3 endings, 3 plot twists.
Yes, and they always get away with it. That's why I remember when you guys were talking about it, one of the last times we were all together, you guys were talking about it. I was like, did they get away with it? Because that's just every Guy Ritchie movie. It's like, did the guys, do they get away with it? That's the question. But that's not a bad thing. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I love the ending of this movie. How Hugh Grant is trying to pitch the story as a Hollywood film, and then
I thought that. Yes, that was really good.
Yeah.
Really good device.
I love this movie, man. Ranking 2020 movies is just whatever. I don't know. Everything has an asterisk, right? Like Jake said, right? But it's still fair. We're still gonna have 40 movies to rank at least. So, or more than that, but at least 40 that we've seen. So I still have Invisible Man as my favorite movie of the year, but this is number 2, hands down, number 2. But the Five Bloods though is really good.
Five Bloods, the Gentleman might be my number 1. If I was gonna rank him right now, I might have that at the top for me.
Yeah, dude. If anybody asks me what movies should I watch recently, The Gentleman. That's why I recommend it to Scott on their podcast. Yeah, Scott McGinnis. So yeah, dude, I'm glad you liked it because I knew you were gonna love it. You never know. You never really know. You could assume someone's going to like a movie, but I knew you were going to love this movie.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm a big Guy Ritchie fan, right? So you're right. As soon as you recommended it, I was like, oh, wait, great, because I've been trying to get myself to watch it. I just kept forgetting about it. Loved it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, this is a movie that I can rewatch multiple times. It's
same here. That's exactly
so entertaining.
I could have played it again as soon as I finished. I watched it a few days ago. I was like, dude, I kind of wanted to start it over again. I think I'm gonna buy it.
The Colin Farrell and the toddlers, man. I want to see more of them.
Oh, so great. He was so great. And I love the way I was expecting him to be kind of a bad guy, but I love the way he worked, worked with them.
Especially that ending where at the house and everything. Dude, what does he do? He says he like owes him 3 favors, and then he's like,
yes,
and he's like 4 or something after he does that.
He was going back to help. That was good. And I love that guy. I don't know that actor's name. He's in he's in a bunch of Guy Ritchie stuff. He was in Wonder Woman. The guy that they frame with the pig and stuff, which I was like, oh my god. But I loved him as well. But this movie's a lot of fun, man. So I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, do you have a new homework assignment for me? I missed the homework, man. School's over.
So now that all the sports docs are over, I had one I was going to recommend, but maybe I'll save it.
We could spread them out.
Yeah, I'll save it. But now I'm going to have you watch Sunshine.
Okay, cool. All right.
I keep talking about Sunshine.
Do we know if it's on? If it's available somewhere or?
It was on HBO for a long time. I don't think it is now. I doubt it. That's the only place I've ever seen it is HBO.
Oh, it's fine. It's 2007 movie, right? Danny Boyle.
Yeah, Danny Boyle.
Okay, cool. Cillian Murphy.
Chris Evans.
The cast is amazing.
Yeah.
Rose Byrne, dude. I love Rose Byrne, man. She is. She's amazing.
Michelle Yao, I think, is in it as well. And
awesome, dude. I'm excited. And look, I never mind like paying to rent these movies because, first of all, like it's just a great thing to watch different films, but also like I love supporting the film industry, and it's like, like I said about The Mummy, right? Every time somebody rents one of these, it shows people who pay attention to that people are still renting these movies,
People are watching it. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. All right. Well, I look forward to it. So next time we're going to talk more Hunger Games. We're going to talk Sunshine, right? We're going to talk Sunshine and whatever other BS is going on in the world and the entertainment industry. We're going to talk. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Bartley and Barnes. Jacob Bartley, Keith Barnes. We will see you all in 2 weeks.